Hi, everybody.
Welcome to another episode of
Pep Talk. My name is Mr. Minister OPM.
My name is Jason OPM.
So today I hear you have something amazing for me. Can't wait.
Okay.
Let her rip.
Let her rip.
Yep.
Okay. What does sex symbolize?
It's a tough question to answer.
That's why I asked.
I mean, we have talked about sex a couple of times.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let's go. What does it symbolize? Okay, good. I think I got this. It symbolizes unity, the bond of oneness. Well, let's do a preamble. Sounds good? Give me your brain. There you go. All right, we're going to use brain as a canvas, right? Check this out. Imagine in your mind two pieces of paper. Got it?
Yeah.
Are we together? And put glue on each side of the paper like that. Okay? So I'm talking about the symbolism of it is unity. So first, the papers are two individual things, right? But if I put glue here and glue there and I stick it together, what do I have?
Paper.
One paper. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Try separating the same paper now that it's merged as two, which is now literally connected as two. It's yoked as two. Try ripping it apart. What happens?
Not gonna rip apart. It's glued together.
Or even if you try to rip it apart, what happens? You're gonna find transfer of each paper to another. You get it? Because let's say if I put glue in between the papers this way and I try to rip it apart, first it's very hard to rip it apart, right? But the more I rip it apart, I'm going to have pieces of this tear up into that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to have pieces of this tear up into that. And then when I rip it apart, I will still never get it as perfect as they were. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So the sex is what brings you to that completion of unity. Where if I look at each side of the paper, all I see is one paper. But people don't really understand the concept of consummation. Consummation meaning the stages and the phase one has to go through to arrive at their aim. And the aim becomes the completion. When somebody marries, which you're going to be married very soon. When you marry your bride, they say you consummate your bride. But it's a stage, it's a phase that you got to go through. Like at each stage, with knowledge, at each stage with knowledge, at each stage with knowledge. And then the final act is the consummation, which now is completion of the two of you becoming completely one. Actually, allow me to share a revelation with you. Sometimes the more you think about God, when God was creating man, it is a place where God looked at man, right? As he was creating man, the excitement of God creating man is how we have orgasm.
What?
I know, it's a little bit too deep. That is God's excitement of creating something he calls superior, humanity. He was so excited to create us in his image and was so ready to present Christ to us, where we're going to find ourselves completely consummated through the process of sacrifice, making us now enabled to become his son from image to oneness. It's like anytime a girl meets a guy, the guy or the girl is a place of individual. You are there and I'm there, but with the marriage, which turns into the place of bonding, is you. The combination of your mom and me. You. Bonded. Inseparable. The only way for you not to exist is for me to take out mine and mom to take out hers, and it's impossible. How beautiful is that? But the problem that faces our generation is the lack of information, which concentrates and constitutes the revelation of sex. Because sex has become something so impatient in our generation that people think it's a salutation. You meet a guy, you meet a girl, you got, oh, he's so cute, oh, he's so handsome, oh man, you about to get it on. And then bim bam, boom, I don't like her. There's a reason why society is at the mess level that we find ourselves in. allow me to elucidate a little bit about what is happening here. People are misconstruing passion for purpose. What did I say?
People are misconstruing passion for purpose.
You know what passion is?
Like how you feel for something.
Perfectly said. It could be an immediate outburst of a feeling for something. Because somebody can immediately, I'm passionate, I want to be a doctor. Why? Maybe you watched a movie. The doctor got the girl. Because the doctor got the girl, because he had the money, he becomes passionate. He wants to be a doctor. But is the purpose of a doctor to get girls? What is the purpose of a doctor?
To save lives.
I'm so pleased. Perfectly said. Where purpose is not assigned to a desire, which is what passion is, chaos. You see what I'm saying? Wherever we have passion without purpose, we have a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of chaos, a lot of craziness. But wherever you find purpose, it will have passion already connected to it. Because once you understand the word is what?
Understand.
Once you understand the purpose, once you understand the meaning of it, then the passion comes by you understanding the terminology with consummation, which is what? What did I say about
You
consummation?
said this, isn't it like the stages of unity?
The stages to acquiring unity. Same thing, sure, you got it. Meaning that the stages you go through to the final phase, which is to bring you at completion, the perfection of something, becomes consummation. That means consummation is the acquisition of knowledge. Are we together on that one?
Yeah.
So, example, you want to be a doctor. The first thing we're going to make sure you don't do if you want to be a doctor is to touch a patient. Because what happens if you touch a patient? You're going to kill him or kill yourself doing it. So, in retrospect, the revelation I want you to see in simple understanding is I thank God that your body's working right, because I know you're a young man. When you wake up in the morning, you have your young soldier greeting you like, hi, I'm here, look down here. Yeah, that is a blessing. It's a blessing for a young man to have a sexual urge. It's a blessing. It's not a curse. It's a blessing to realize you have an activation of a desire. It's a blessing. It's not a curse. So my advice to you and whoever's watching us, first is to thank God. Because not everybody probably got activated. You know what I mean? The fact that you have it, don't take it for granted. So if you get up and you have a salutation of your soldier, which means that you are sexually active, first act is, thank you, Lord, that I work perfectly fine. Thank you that the equipment works. As a young lady, if you're beginning to have feelings in your body, thank you that I work, because it means the consummation is the stages you have to go through to arriving at what is perfection. You agree? Are we together? Sure?
Yeah.
Good. So after thank you, Lord, is in all thine getting, get understanding. What is the meaning of this? Teach me to understand the use of the equipment. It's like a doctor saying that, a young guy with a desire to be a doctor or a passion to be a doctor saying that, I want to be a doctor, but what makes a doctor? What are the steps? That is your acquisition of understanding. Are we close on that? It means you want to acquire wisdom, but you need to understand. Understanding becomes the bridge that establishes set wisdom. We'll come to knowledge. You wait for knowledge. Let's wait to understand it. Then the first thing asserted to you, or the first thing you are immediately put into is you are given a tutor. So you are put into education. You first go to your primary, your whatever, your secondary, your blah blah blah, your tertiary. All these things are to literally cause you to withstand the commitment to what you want to acquire, which is the consummation. You get it? Because in a relationship, one of the primary things you need to have in a relationship is to be committed to the relationship. Because, if there's no commitment, sex becomes so lonely. When you have sex with somebody you're not committed to, you get lonelier than when you actually had sex with that person. Imagine that. But you thought, oh, all right, just imagine this. All right, let's make it rational, right? Imagine you go to this club, you meet this girl, everything goes on nice. You guys are laughing it off, you're having fun, you're drinking, you're doing all the stupid stuff. And then you go to her house or she comes to your house and you have sex. She thought she found herself somebody. You thought you found yourself somebody. The next day they tell you, you know what, this is not going to work out. What does that make you? How does that make you feel? After everything you went through, then he tells you it's not going to work out.
Very, very, very sad.
And lonely, sad. So wait, I thought it was fun and excitement. What happened? The moment the bonding happened, now we want to separate it. There are pieces that are sticking onto each other. That means the intention of it is not to be broken. It's not to have the peace. Do you get it? Are you getting the simplicity of what I'm trying to impart into you? Are you
Yeah.
getting it? Good. So the first thing to understand is the commitment which is actually needed to establish that you're serious about what you want to do. So you realize that being a doctor takes a long period of time. Do we agree? Because the idea is to teach you enough information. Do you really want to do this? How much life do you want to save? What does a life worth to you? What does it mean? Yeah, the pharmaceutical world, well, it's a whole different story. But then the nuance behind it is for you to have the heart to create longevity for somebody, survivability for somebody, to help them in their case of need, is to become useful, usable to them. All these things are what makes a relationship work. When you think of your spouse in a usable way, how do I become useful to my spouse? How do I become serviceable to my spouse? How do I extend our relationship? Do you understand? These things create a stronger bond of unity. You're going to first be strained. You're going to go through the education. You're going to be taught well. Are you with me? You're going to be given all the right information. You're going to have things to do. And then you're going to have to pass the examination before you get the accreditation, the whatever that makes you the whatever that you're going to be. Then you are allowed many things to make sure you don't kill the patient nor yourself. Because what keeps you going is the knowledge. Because the understanding to the wisdom has become knowledge. Ginosko. And I want to say that knowledge means noxis. Forget about the terms. So, yeah, no, forget about the terms. It's crazy, crazy stuff. So now let's bring it to human context. Two young people watch a movie. Mhm. In the movie, this hot guy got this hot girl because he brought her flowers. Goes to Google and types in what is sex, gives him so many pornia to watch, which is all fornication. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Then he goes and buys a girl a flower, not knowing how the girl is going to react, how the guy is going to react. They end up probably kissing and they lose themselves in a passionate setting. And then they do whatever they have to do, only to come to realize that they don't want to be together. You have no idea the ripple effect you can send a person into in their lives because of your ignorance. Because when you rip the paper apart, so many pieces touch onto the other paper, right? Imagine them going, you'd never see them again. But them having this thing about their first love and it wasn't even love, it was all fake because it's lust. But whatever it was, and they begin to have a perception about life, about girls, about guys, about love, and they begin to live. That person can now go into a place of depression, go into another relationship due to the depression, and get in a toxic relationship. They can get a baby to that toxic relationship, begin to hate everything about life, all because of one ignorant setting. Do we see it? And a lot of people have gone through this trauma. This has created a lot of chaos in the world. But why God created what He created was to actually bring us together. You understand consummation and the processes. What you are going to arrive at is one answer: selflessness, not about you. That is what is supposed to, if you're under the knowledge of God. So, knowledge now begins to be the substance that gives you the application to actually endeavor in the first hand experience, because now you have knowledge. So, the knowledge of God will teach you love as a sacrifice, right? You realize that when you get married, everything about sex is not what the world has taught you. It's not what you are looking to get from the person, because that is how the world works. I see a girl, she's hot. What does that mean?
I'm attracted to her.
Yeah, but you're attracted to her to get what? Be honest, it's me. You get what? Something from her, right?
Yeah.
That something could be whatever, up to sex, right? Is it for her or is it for me? Do you get it? Everything on this level is thought to take from people what you will not put back. Repeat this after me. You can't give what you don't have.
Can't give what you don't have.
When you have knowledge, you can't give knowledge.
Knowledge you can give
Do
knowledge.
you see what I'm saying? Now, somebody who is completely ignorant sees a girl, sees a guy, sees the opposite, sees a person, loves what they see. What they see is what they want to take from you. So their understanding of sex begins to be what I can get. Ooh, man. See, all that, man, what are you doing? What you want to take from her? No wonder every time people get in a relationship, they get exhausted because everybody's looking to be takers. That's not love. Love is not about taking. When you learn the knowledge of God's love, sex becomes give. The idea is what I bring to you. So then the order of sex begins to be this selfless attitude of giving into the most highest form of the fruit completion. Giving into the person. If me and you have a lot of money in our pocket, right? And I put $100 down. You put $100 down. And I put $100 down. Put $100 down. Put $100 down. Put $100 down. What's on the table?
Money.
How much? A lot. But if I put 100 and you take it, and I put 100 and you take it, and I put 100 and you take it, how much money do we have on the table?
None.
Love, which will eventually become the expression of sex. It's not what you want to take, because people always will say, give and take. No. If I give and you take, am I expecting you to give?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're expecting something in return.
Thank you. So the mindset be, yo, I gave. You got to give back, man. That's how it works. I gave, you got to give back. That's the mindset. But what if I realize that you're my son, you're my wife, you're my hubby? I will give and give and give some more. What happens when you realize that I'm not going to stop giving? What would that do to you?
I want to give you. Give you stuff.
So you see, the remedy of this has always been God, who is love, who teaches you how to just stay consistent. Because if the mindset of sex is I want to give into you to make you better, I want to give to you, I want to worship with you, I want to have a communion with you to make you see how much God loves you, because God is loving you through me. And the mindset is I want to give into you. You know how much people are going to enjoy sex in marriages? But they can't. Why? Because they have the mindset of takers. They're not educated. They don't have the wisdom of love. They don't have the understanding of sex. Nor do they have the ginosko, which is the application of it. All we know how to do is, this girl got a fatty. This guy got this. Oh man, he handsome. He's 6'5", tall. Oh my word. It's always about what I want to take from this. That's why people just keep taking. And nobody is growing, because the more you get taken from, you get exhausted. Do you get it? But the more you have what is yours, like what I have with your mom, and it's not something that I did, it's what God taught me, is the more you actually plant into her. What I have with mom, what God has taught me, is what I can always consistently, in a selfless act, bring to her as she brings to me. So it means love is two people ministering God to each other. So the act of sex begins to be two selfless worshipers who are bringing to each other God. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now you tell me, what have you learned today?
I learned that what sex symbolizes is unity and becoming one.
Good job.
But the most important part is consummating the bride,
What does that mean?
which is basically it's the steps and things you have to go through to reach your end goal, which is becoming one with your bride. Final phase.
Perfectly said. The word is teleo.
Kaleo.
Teleo in the Greek language, which will tell you about completing each stage effectively, arriving at the aim. So it means you did not miss a step. By the time you get to the sex part, you have gone through each step. You have connected with a woman, understood what a woman represents, what a man represents, understood God's perception to life, taking God's page on what love means, growing in each stage. So when you get to the bonding process, you have effectively entered knowledge, noxis, which now becomes a simple context, first-hand experience, where theory becomes
Uh,
application. So whatever you learned with God, you're gonna apply it to your spouse. Do you see it?
yeah,
We learned something today.
definitely.
All right, so another episode of Pep Talk.
Pep talk.
Hope you got something from this. Share with everybody. The world's gotta know. The kids gotta know.